Welcome to the Inkblot test. This is the Jackal and Knox.
Hey.
Alright, now that we tried to sound as professional as possible, let's get to today's topic, fan service.
Alright.
Titties.
So, well, before we get into the topic of fan service, what is your definition of fan service when you think about it?
Well, okay. So, fan service, as it applies to me, since I am a guy, is ass and titties in the anime form, and it's them doing ridiculous things and just being in really tight suits and just appealing to look at. What about you?
Kind of similar to you, basically. I mean, from my understanding, fan service is just eye candy for the viewers who are enjoying a series, and it shows like maybe something a little enticing. Would that be the word?
Yeah.
I mean, a little ladies, titillating. Little things like that. That's
all four ladies that are watching this. There's fan service for you out there. But I'm not really into Free or Yuri on Ice, so we won't be talking about those. Or maybe we will. Who knows? Because the topic isn't just do we like anime titties? Because yeah. The real question is, does fan service serve any purpose at all? Is there such thing as too much, like to the point where it calls you to drop a show? And if it does serve a purpose, do you have any examples?
Are you starting or I'm starting?
So I'll let you start. Do you think fan service serves any purpose at all? Or can serve one in a story?
If I'm going to be honest, it kind of depends. It kind of depends on the context of the series. I guess the series. Like, put it this way. For the most part, probably not for a lot of series that you watch. But if the whole point, this might be an easy one to point out. Like, okay, if there's a series that's just mainly the theme is scantily clad women, and it's basically just fan service. Like, let's say I guess we can use, what's the anime? It's that funny anime that's basically just fan service, but they take themselves way too seriously, the characters.
Keijo?
Yeah, Keijo.
Yeah, the butt.
I mean, it's kind of relevant if you think about it, because that's all they do. They just show their body off, and then they use their bodies to do sports, that whatever you want to call that. That would be one. Now let's say, for example, okay, there's a serious scene going on. I'm gonna use just a random anime from the top of my head that that's pretty serious for the most part, and as a plot, Attack on Titans. Okay, everybody loves Attack on Titans. I'm kind of neutral to it, but
me as well.
If just for some reason, you have a serious fight going on with two titans or something, and then out of nowhere, a big titty titan just pop up, and it kind of sucks you away from the immersion of enjoying that scene of something serious. That's where it doesn't work. Unless that series is meant to be comedy, then yeah, that's fine. It's a comedy series anyway, so just a random titty bouncing out of nowhere in a serious scene, that kind of comes with the territory. Like I can think of Gintama. There's probably a few scenes, not from the top of my head, but I'm sure like there's a fan service that just pops up when something's supposed to be serious, but it's supposed to be a slapstick joke.
Yeah. Okay, so for me, fan service can definitely serve a narrative purpose. There's a couple of anime that comes to mind. The first one being, for me, Fooly Cooly, because the whole thing is a coming-of-age story in the first place. And the main character, one of the main characters, Haruko, her whole thing, she's basically preying on our actual main protagonist, the young man, Naota, and because she rustles his jimmies, it basically causes his powers to activate. which is, carries the plot forward. And it's not, and it's weird because the fan service, while it is played to be fan service in the show, it's also played seriously. Like, there's a scene where she is basically just hazing him. She's just fucking with him. And they're in his bunk bed, and he has a gun handle, like, in the back of his head. It's a robot piece that hasn't activated yet, and to kind of mess with him, to kind of coax it, she straddles him, gets on top of him, gets real close, and he's being a typical kid. He's like trying to be bashful about it and weird and stuff, and her presence is making this power, which is, fueled off of, well, we find out in this latest season of the show that a lot of the power is fueled off of just those weird hormonal shifts of adolescence in the first place. And so her doing all those things to him, her hazing him like that, aggravates the process of this trigger coming out of his head and fully manifesting. Another good example
is... You mean studio trigger?
Well, okay, I'll ignore that because that was my next example. Kill la Kill. I don't care what anyone says. The whole thing, all the fan service is important to the plot. Her being naked and having to do all that, like being scantily clad, is extremely important.
Yeah, I can't imagine how can you take that out when the whole point of them is to,
Well, people say that it's just, I've heard a lot of arguments saying that it's just fan service because the people want to draw ass and titties. And they might have wanted to draw ass and titties, but
they gave it a purpose,
Yeah, and there's a couple of moments in the show that illustrate that it's not just for nothing. There's a scene early on where the main character is fighting the main antagonist. Well, the main antagonist at the time, Satsuki, and she puts on Junketsu, the opposite of Sunketsu, which is another uniform or whatever. And she's like, "Aren't you embarrassed to wear that?" She's like, "What? Embarrassed? If it's to fulfill my ideals, I would be naked." Which that automatically, to anyone who's thinking critically, should go, oh, so it's not just because the creators of the show wanted ass and titties. And then by the end of the show, everyone else, all the supporting cast, are completely naked, and our main character is wearing more clothes than she's ever worn. And that's a thing of like just... It's a commentary on what we use clothes for, like how we shelter ourselves. So it all makes sense and it works well, and it's one of the best uses of fan service that I've seen in a while. Like to push a narrative, and to a lesser degree that there's also Gurren Lagann with the whole one of the motivations for Kamina and Simone to leave for the surface at the end of the first. I think it was the first episode they actually get out the surface. One of the whole motivations that they have, besides the fact that they just want to see the surface, is because Yuko shows up and she's fucking hot. And then they're like, oh man, we should go with her.
Yeah, there might be more of her.
Yeah, I mean, they find out that there's not, but, so I believe that it definitely holds some kind of weight. It can be used for something serious. It's not used a lot. I'm not going to sit here and say that, oh man, there's so many shows that if you just look, there's an extra layer. No, most of the time it's just ass and titties, which is still great. But there are definitely examples, more than the ones I've even illustrated, that prove that it can definitely be used for something more than the outright expectation of, oh man, this is gonna get a rise out of someone, if you know what I mean.
I guess for me it's no matter what series I watch, I would still say, no matter what it is, because I'm just that much of a caveman, I would like to see fan service. In almost every anime I watch. I don't mind. I like it. It's because I grew up. Obviously, I'm one of those anime nerds, watchers that watch anime. And the first things I did watch that I realized it was anime. That had just mostly fan service. Was Love Hina. I when I was younger, I enjoyed that so much, and it had a lot of fan service. Of course, there's a story between the bromance of those characters and all that, and yada yada yada. But I enjoyed the fan service. That was great. So from then on, I've been watching
romance,
nothing.
Get that shit out of here.
Yeah, well, But it's just if there's fan service in whatever series I watch, I'm not bothered by it. I enjoy it. So even if it's like a serious anime, they throw that in there, I probably get a chuckle, even if it doesn't make sense, and maybe a head scratch. But it's like I saw some tits and ass. It's my thing. I like it. That's
my favorite fan service anime, right? Of all time, is Prison School. It is used in such creative ways in that show. First off, I love the fact that most of the premise of the show is that liking fan service gets you punished. Being a creepy otaku gets you in trouble. I like that. Because it's just a bunch of these fucking nerdy guys. They get this privilege to go to this all-girls school, and all the girls are beautiful, and then they fuck it up because they're losers. And instead of actually talking to a lady, they just go and peep on them. And I just love how the fan service train just barrels down the road the entire time. It never stops. The disciplinary chick with the glasses and the whip. Oh god, her whole thing. There's a part of the anime where she's in a leather bodysuit, and then she takes it off, and it's never, the character is never played for laughs, because the funniness comes from the fact that she is so serious and so dangerous and can probably kill you, and yet she's wearing sexy lingerie. And then she doesn't even see anything wrong with it. She's like, because it was an all-girl school, so she's like, if you are looking at me and thinking these things, then you're the perv, not me. And it's not in the typical anime way where the girl clearly knows that there's something provocative about the way she's dressing, and so she's saying that, but she really is like, I mean, I know what I'm doing, but no, they really have no idea, and it's hilarious because of that. Man, if you haven't watched Prison School,
I've actually watched the first 2 episodes. Which one was the episode where I didn't watch the whole thing because I've been busy and all that, but I've seen to the point where there was a scene where the guy had to pee on one of the girls. Or was it the other way around? I can't remember, but I know that happened.
Yeah. So what happens is they introduce this other girl who's part of the student council, and she has to watch the prisoners or whatever, and basically she goes to use the bathroom. I'm pretty sure this is what happened. She goes to use the bathroom. I haven't seen it in a while, and she gets walked in on by the main protagonist. And so then she's like, "You saw me, so now I have to see
that's what
you."
happened. Yeah, because he saw her, and now in return she wants to see him, so just to be even.
Yeah,
it
so
was that
she
blonde
chases
girl.
him. Yeah, she chases him. Yeah, she's crazy. She chases him down.
Oh, blonde means you're crazy. You heard it here first.
And eventually, she corners him. He has to use the bathroom, and she corners him in the bathroom. She tries to make him pee, and he's like, "No, I'm not gonna pee in front of you, you fucking crazy person." And so she basically makes him drop his pants, because she's also a kung fu master, and the struggle makes him pee, and he pees all over her and ignites in her a waterworks fetish.
Yeah.
Is there ever a time when there's like too much fan service for you? Like, is there an anime or a show you've watched and you just go, okay, even for me, as a man with taste, as a seeker of the thick, even for me, this is too much?
I'm not gay. Okay, in all seriousness, no, it never got to the point. I can't think of an anime from the top of my head that makes me feel that way. Because I'm really trying to think of one where, okay, I want to just get on with the story. Let me know what happens next. Stop with the tit bouncing. It's getting ridiculous. In fact, you know what? I'll put it this way. I guess I can kind of vaguely remember some animes are like that. But these types of animes are the animes that I would just play in the background, drawing or doing or whatever, and they're most likely mainly fan service or harem anime, and they'll just show nothing but, or just majority fan service, and not getting on with the plot. But those types of animes, they're already boring to me to begin with. I just use it as white noise. But anything like specifically, I can't remember. But okay. if there was a lot, just to answer your question, if there were a lot of fan service, it would potentially be a problem if I'm trying to if I want to find out, like, what's going on with the actual plot. But I mean, generally it doesn't really bother me. I don't know. Maybe I'm weird, or maybe I'm just normal. Who knows?
Okay, so the reason I ask that is because I see a lot, and I used to be one of these guys a long time ago that was like, oh,
which guy?
I can't watch that show. There's too much fan service in it.
You actually thought that?
At one point.
No. This is important. You actually thought that.
Yeah.
We can't be friends anymore. All right, show's over.
No, it just started.
All right, go ahead. Sorry.
But yeah, at one point I was that guy, and eventually I just got over myself because there's no point in thinking that way. But there is, to this day, one show that I just cannot watch, and it's not because I'm interested in the story, and it's not because I dislike the fan service. It's just that I'm not like you. I don't watch anime ever for it to be white noise. So I need anything I'm watching to be good. For at least in my opinion, I need to actually like it. And there's this one anime called Queen's Blade.
Oh.
And it's garbage. I love all the girls in it. My favorite one, I think her name is Catalea or something like that.
Yeah. Sorry to interrupt you. I'm kind of in the same camp. I like the designs of all the characters that's in there. It's just I can't get into the plot.
Garbage. It is so bad.
Oh.
And
oh shit. You know what I just realized? Okay.
What?
Okay. This is kind of the opinion that I just realized that I actually do have, and it's in regards to if you're watching an anime, it's really hard to take the characters so seriously without laughing when they're so scantily clad and their tits are just bouncing everywhere. I just can't take them seriously. I'm just like, you look great, but I can't take you seriously when you're saying like, oh, I'm gonna save the world.
I'll defeat you.
Yeah, you with my ultimate power. I'm like, I don't care about anything you just said.
But your titties are really great.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. That's kind of my point though. When it comes to Queen's Blade, all the women in there are supposed to be badass warriors, and like, first off, the story is bad, and then on top of that, I just can't take them seriously. Like, I think in the first episode, one of my second favorite characters in that show is there's this bunny lady who's also a slime monster, and she also lactates.
The best one.
Yeah, and her milk. I'm
joking. I have no idea what these characters do. I've just seen them.
Yeah, okay. And her titties lactate acid milk all at the same time. And in the first episode, she like becomes a amorphous tentacle slime acid milking monster, and she grabs one of the girls and she's melting off all their armor. And this has everything I love in it. Tentacles, check. Titties, check. Slime girl, check. I should be enjoying this beyond all imagination, but I just found myself really, really bored.
But hey, there's ass and titties.
It's not enough. It's not enough. Even the worst show. I forgot. I think it's called Mermaid Overdrive or something like that.
Yes.
They're basically an all-girls school where the girls like become weapons if they orgasm or something.
Wait. Oh no! Isn't that Valkyrie Drive?
Yeah, Valkyrie Drive.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
I've been meaning to watch that for obvious reasons.
Yeah, I've watched the entire thing, and it's not bad. And I can sit through that. It's not good either, at all. So don't take that as some kind of endorsement. but I can.
It's a
sit
great
there and
anime.
watch
He's wrong. It's amazing. We totally recommend you guys watching Valkyrie Drive. 10 out of 10. Good shit.
No,
I've never watched it.
It's not good either, but it's still more entertaining than Queensblade, and I don't really know what it is about Queensblade that just makes it so unappealing outside of anything involving like collecting a figure of one of the girls or something. But like outside of that, I have no interest at all. So that's the only time in my history that there's been too much fan service in a show or anime or whatever.
I think for shows like that, I kind of doubt that the creators who made them, the studio that works on them, I don't think they wanted, they even cared if the anime were taken seriously anyway. They're mainly just for just for the enjoyment of looking at the bodies of women drawn in anime. That's probably the main purpose, and just to keep you a little interested in watching it, they sprinkle in a little plot, but for the most
put
part,
a plot on it. Yeah,
but the main plot is the boobs.
Plot.
Yes, the plot. But for those
main plot
stuff like that, of course, that's not
plot.
something we're looking for. If we're looking for like a deep story to get into, feel engaged and get into, that's not what you go for.
Yeah.
So that I can understand. That would be considered too much if that is not what you're looking for. But if you're degenerates like me and I'm looking for fan service, I will go to those animes and watch it. Because I don't care about the plot. Maybe just a little plot.
But he cares about the plot.
But the other plot, the main plot, is what I care about. Because, I do it for research purposes and studying anime in the anime form. Yeah, that's why.
And before any of you out there, you gentle viewers, no, it is not by mistake that I'm drawing fan service. I am self-aware.
Yeah, I bet you they would be saying, "Oh, you're drawing all this
to criticize
fan service, but what the hell are you drawing?" Well, on my side, I'm just drawing a dude. I'm just drawing some muscular dude, just to balance it out.
What are you doing? You're drawing me bad, kind of.
Hey, I'm making you look bad.
Oh God! Oh, equal opportunity and shit man. Over here.
I gotta draw I'm kind of trying to practice my male figure drawings.
Man. So, what is your favorite fan service anime of all time?
I am glad you asked.
Oh. And why?
Okay. As to, I guess I would like to go over every single fan service anime I've watched and pick maybe I'll make a separate video for this. Top 5. I highly doubt there would be 10. Top 5 favorite fan service-y anime that actually is genuinely enjoyable for either it's comedic or entertaining. But at least the one that comes to my mind recently that I've actually genuinely enjoyed was, of course, Kill la Kill. If you want to consider that fan service, whatever people want to call it. I kind of consider it fan service because I'm looking at tits and ass anyway, and that's all I see. I mean, yeah, there's cool action. So I would consider that one. And the other one that I really need to go back and watch, but I did enjoy it, and I just laughed my ass off, would be Keijo, or is that what it's called?
Yeah,
Keijo.
The butt anime.
And another one is it's not really the general 20 minutes anime episode is actually like 5 minutes. They keep it really short, but I just laughed because it's just funny to me, like how the characters and how the kind of quote unquote story about these characters and what they were going through. And the anime that comes to my mind that I really enjoy, it's called Bikini Warriors. That shit is hilarious. And of course these girls are pretty much naked. They're, little stuff, like they got little stuff just to cover just what you need to cover, but they're pretty much naked. But that aside, that shit was hilarious. I enjoyed it. I may be the few who actually have this opinion. I don't know, but it was actually pretty good. I liked it, even though it's like 5 minutes an episode. It was funny. That's okay. That's me. Your turn.
Okay. Yeah, it's out of prison school. Keijo is definitely up there. I love how seriously they treat the sport. Because honestly, at first, I was gonna. It was actually pretty close to going into Queensblade territory for me. But the thing that saved it is that everyone takes this sport so seriously. And then the anime itself makes fun of itself because all the women in it aren't attractive. Like, and if it had done just a few things different, it wouldn't be good. But the fact that not all the women are attractive, like their coach is like a former Keijo champion, but
she used to look hot, but then
and now she's fucking old and fat, and they all just like. Everybody still respects her as a former champion. It's hilarious because you would think that nobody would be interested in seeing what she can do. Nobody would be interested, but no, all the characters are like, they make fun of the fact that she's old now. They're like, oh man, you used to look like that, and blah, blah, blah. But outside of that, everybody still takes her seriously. Everybody still respects her for her wisdom and what she used to do, and it is just. It's just amazing that they can all keep a straight face. There's this one part in the anime where there's this girl she's the small character, no real, like, no titties or anything, and she's super fast, and the way she speeds herself up is she gives herself a wedgie with her bathing suit.
Okay, I need to finish watching that.
Yeah, and it makes her butt vibrate. Yeah.
Oh, wait, you mean the one with the short hair and like her go-to, I guess.
No, not the girl with the JoJo booty. Not.
Okay, wrong one. Sorry.
Not my ass is a stand. Which we do need to talk about JoJo here at some point.
But go ahead.
I've gone too long without talking about JoJo, but. But so she does this. There's a huge competition going where she's gonna debut this power again, and she's at her limit. She can only do 3 wedgies a match or some stupid shit like that. And she's like, you know what? No, I'm gonna give it my all. And she hikes her bathing suit all the way up one last time, rips it. She's basically naked, and then she beats her opponent. And nobody in the audience, even like her dad, is watching, and no one cheapens her victory. So proud. He is. He's in the stands, crying about how proud he is of his daughter. And
I think that's the thing. That's the key thing. It's what makes that show entertaining. Keijo especially is they just take themselves so seriously, and the people around them takes it so seriously, and even the creators that make it, they know it's funny, and they actually have fun with it. I think that's the main thing why a lot of people enjoy Keijo, besides the fan service, of course.
Yeah, the fact that it got canceled is kind of, annoying. Bring it back. I wanted a fighting game, damn it. Like, the fucking girls had techniques and all kinds of... Oh. Jeez,
what's funny is, I think, didn't Keijo was actually an inspiration based off of a kind of a mini game from one of the Dead or Alive volleyball? Yeah,
there's in Dead or Alive Beach, I think it's the first one.
Yeah, that's what it was inspired by, right?
Yeah, it's a popular pool party game.
Yeah, so, but, if they did came out with a game that plays basically in the theme of Keijo, and it's just, that's the whole game, that I'd pretty much pick it up and play it. It probably would be fun. Day one purchase for me.
I mean, I already know who my main would be, the fucking pink-haired girl.
Is she the one with, like, she kind of have a sadistic side or something, or no?
Yeah, she kills two of the other trainees. And I don't care what anyone says, they're fucking dead. They don't show up in the show at all after they fight her. She kills them with her ass. But yeah, stuff like that's the key. That's the sweet spot. Being self-aware is always gonna be appreciated, unless again your show is just straight up shit. Because Queen's Blade is also self-aware, but it's also just bad.
Yeah, I think another series that's kind of pretty much fan service in some area or most areas. It's not an anime, but it's a game, and they're self-aware, and they kind of break the fourth wall a lot, and that would be Hyperdimension Neptunia. Definitely like that series, and what makes it enjoyable, they're pretty much self-aware. It's stuff like that, that makes you actually enjoy watching these characters do the things they do, even though they may be in situations where they look like,
Yeah, so the moral of the story, kids, is sex is great. All right, I think we hit everything we needed to hit. Fan service is great as long as there's a balance, and we gave you guys a whole bunch of good recommendations. So we'll see.
I can't guarantee what I like is great, but you're free to try.
So we'll see you guys in the next one. I hope you like my... I'll scroll through my drawings real quick. Here's an elf lady. Here's the person I was drawing earlier. Shouldn't have any name. That's not really fan servicey, but who cares? Monster girls, because why not? An angel lady, because why not? And a chain chomp in a bikini, because... Bye, everybody.
Thanks for watching.